top Isekai anime with the best romances.
そんな国で今、俺は王様をしている。
これより勇者召喚の儀を執り行う。
Kazuya was summoned to help a kingdom in trouble with economy and politics. Instead of using swords and magic, he uses his modern life knowledge to help rebuild Elfrieden, the fantasy world he found himself in. Kazuya becomes the king and marries Licia, the princess, to solidify his power. Kazuya and Licia's relationship started as an arranged marriage, with neither of them having feelings or intentions of falling for each other. But working together and solving the kingdom's problems has made them bond, understand, and appreciate each other more. Their engagement turns into a real relationship where they share playful moments, teasing, and warm smiles.
あなたってすごく現実主義なのね。
ああ、そうかもな。
あなたを欲しいと思う誰かにあなたを預けてみますか。
決めた。君を僕の弟子にする。
Chizzy has no idea what new world is in store for her when she's sold to Elias Ainsworth in The Ancient Magus Bride. She transitions from being orphaned in the streets of London to a world of magic and study filled with creatures, curses, and romance. Elias is a mysterious figure in many ways, but when it comes to Chais, he holds so many emotions in his deep voice. He may look like an ancient fell creature, but he has a personality worthy of a Jane Austen love interest. Romance isn't exactly the main focus of The Ancient Magus Bride. Instead, the series centers on Chais and her own personal growth as she navigates her new situation. However, there's a strong emphasis on Chais and Elias' growing bond and the ever-changing dynamic of their relationship. They're far from a typical romance, but that's what makes them so compelling.
リーシェイルムガルド・ベルツナー、貴様との婚約を破棄する。
はい、わかりました。失礼いたします。やり直しの人生もこれで7回目なんだもの。今回はのんびりダラダラ人生を満喫したい。今度こそ長生きしてみせる。
Seventh Time Loop is a villainous Isekai series with a time travel twist. In this story, Rish Irmgard Weitzner finds herself caught in a time loop where she's reborn again and again, each time living a new alternate version of her previous life. However, she always meets an untimely end before she can change her fate. Now living her seventh life, Rish decides she wants to live in peace this time around. However, her plans are shaken up when her arch-enemy Prince Arnold Hine proposes to her. In a classic story of enemies to lovers, Rish accepts Arnold's proposal and sets out to change their dynamic. The series follows her as she comes to terms with her past lives and sees Arnold in a new light for the first time. The series was one of the best romance titles of 2024, featuring a swoon-worthy slow-burn story between Rish and Arnold. Their relationship has a surprising amount of depth that makes them feel more realistic and complex. Fans can't help but love the deep connection they both share throughout the various timelines.
どうか俺の妻になってほしい。
アイリーン・ローレン・ドートリッシュ、君との婚約は破棄させてもらう。
人間が僕に何の用だ。
私と結婚していただきたいの。
Aileen was reincarnated into the world of an Otome game as the villainess. To avoid her destined death, Aileen plans to win Claude's heart, but he hates and distrusts her. Aileen does not let Claude's negative feelings towards her discourage her as she keeps trying to get close to him, even though he is suspicious of her and her actions. But as Claude gets to know her, he realizes she is genuinely kind and loyal, causing him to lower his guard and open up his heart. The romance blooms between them, and viewers get to experience a heartwarming journey as they go from enemies who cannot stand each other to lovers who trust and cannot live without each other.
君は僕が好きなのか。
いいえ、悪役令嬢なのでラスボスを飼ってみました。嫌よ、こんなの嫌。乙女芸の悪役令嬢、このままだと破滅する。
Katarina has been reincarnated into the world of her favorite Otome game as the villainess. Like most villains, Katarina is destined to get tragic endings like exile or death in every route, but she is doing everything in her power to avoid that. In order to change her fate, Katarina tries to befriend and win over other characters, but this ends up making every character, male and female, fall for her because of her kindness, obliviousness, and weirdness. Katarina has characters fighting for her attention, and what's fun is that she is oblivious to their romantic feelings and only focused on avoiding her doom.
私が破滅するかどうかは彼女と4人の攻略対象の恋の行方にかかっている。
乙女ゲームの破滅フラグしかない悪役令嬢に転生してしまった。
その日もブラックな残業を終えて趣味のゲームに没頭していたはずだった。
嘆かわしいこと。私と机を並べようなんて身の程を知りなさい。
くれよ。
I'm in Love with the Villainess is a fall 2023 villainous isekai that offers a unique twist to the subgenre. While most series star a protagonist who's reborn as the villainess of a novel or game, this series does things a little different. Ray Taylor reincarnates into her favorite Otome game as just another student at Royal Academy. Though she's surrounded by many handsome love interests, she only has eyes for Claire Francois, the game's villainess and love rival to the player. In a refreshing take on the usual villainous concept, Ray embraces her new life and sets out to help Claire achieve all her goals and aspirations. Though she's clearly head over heels for her, she accepts that Claire likely will never return her feelings and is just happy to be by her side. I'm in Love with the Villainess is a well-done LGBTQ plus romance story that's surprisingly honest in its representation. Ray and Claire are easily some of the best WLW representation in modern anime, and fans can't help but fall in love with their sweet and wholesome relationship.
これだけ意地悪されてどうして平然としていられますの？私は大嫌いですわ。私の推しは悪役令嬢。
Yui found herself in a different world after she discovered a mysterious sword in her house. In this world, she found herself in front of Zeus, the king of gods. Unlike most Isekai protagonists who are summoned to be heroes, Yui was summoned to be an instructor to teach the meaning of love to the other deities so that humans and deities can bond better. As Yui teaches the gods about humanity and love, she also learns from them and forms a deeper understanding and connection with them. Soon enough, sparks fly and attraction builds up between the gods and Yui. Romance is woven into the story as each god falls for Yui as they learn more about human emotions.
おお、攻略対象たち。俺はこいつらを攻略していたのか。
ついにここからゲームがスタートするんだな。
モブキャラとして。
Trapped in a dating sim is exactly what the title says. It's an isekai where romance is the central plot. Leon's main goal in the Otome game world is to cause trouble and find a wife. Trapped in a dating sim has a different take on the villainous stuck in an Otome game subgenre that many will find refreshing. Rather than taking place through the villainous eyes, Trapped in a dating sim's isekai protagonist is reborn as an NPC in the world of an Otome game where men are treated poorly. Determined to have a decent life in his new world, Leon sets out to garner the attention of various female love interests he meets, though he eventually sets his sights on Angelica Redgrave. The story's villainous. The series is fun and playful, and subverts many of the usual tropes associated with harem isekai.
俺、あいつら嫌いなんだよね。
忘れ物だ。決闘しようぜ、王子様。せいぜい大事な恋人との別れを済ませておくんだな。
私、花咲凛子はこの世界で目を覚ました。
Why Raeliana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion is an Isekai anime adaptation of the manhwa series of the same name. Protagonist Hanasaki is killed and reincarnated into the world of a fantasy novel, where she's also destined for assassination by the hand of the person who's supposed to love her. Hanasaki, now reborn as Raeliana Macmillan, is too wily for such a fate, though, and she makes plans to save herself. Raeliana's desire to protect herself leads her right into the arms of Duke Noah Winknight. To try to escape her fate, she approaches Winknight, who agrees to help her, if she's willing to become his fiancée for 6 months. This leads to a surprisingly sweet romance that captures viewers' hearts, as Raeliana learns what sort of person her fake fiancé really is. One of the best romances of modern Isekai, why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's mansion follows Raeliana and Noah as they learn to trust each other and navigate their newfound relationship.
公爵様の取引をお願いしたく参りました。
ほう、それは実に興味深い。
ただいま。突然の聖女召喚は異世界スローライフの始まりでした。
The Saint's magic power is omnipotent mixes Isekai romance with a calming, medieval slice of life setting. The series stars a young woman named Sei Takanashi, who finds her life turned upside down when she's suddenly plucked from her world to a magical new realm known as Salutania. Here, she is tasked with healing the world as a saint. But when another is chosen as the saint instead, Sei is absolved of her newfound duties and left to her own devices. With the freedom to become whoever she wants in this new world, Sei decides to study magic and plants in order to help people. Little does she know, this new passion will soon lead her to meet Albert Hawke, a handsome knight who falls deeply in love with her after she saves him from a mortal wound. The Saint's magic power is omnipotent centers around the budding romance between Albert and Sei as they grow close and get to know one another. A sweet, slow-burn love story. Fans have all fallen completely in love with this couple and their wholesome dynamic.
ありがとう、セイ。
はい。テレビアニメ「聖女の魔力は万能」です。